Welcome back to Sidelines TV. We're here today at the 2013 American Invitational in Tampa Bay, Florida. And I'm here with Olympic course designer Steve Stevens. Steve, how are you?
Just fine, thank you.
Great. Steve designed the Beijing Olympics course, and he's also the course designer here at the Invitational. How was it designing for the Olympics?
You know, that's for sure a highlight of your career, and it's a pressure spot.
Yeah, I bet
you
it
know,
is.
but you have the most talented riders in the world. You know, not just like one nation in one spot. You get the best coming at you, so that's great. That lets you really go out and turn up the level.
This also seems like a really big challenge inside a football stadium. How does that alter things for you?
You know, I think it's harder on the riders than it is for me. They have not been in the stadium to perform like maybe they would at a horse show where they go Wednesday and Thursday and then come ready to go on the Sunday Grand Prix. Mm-hmm. This is walk in, you got to do it. You don't have any practice. Your horse doesn't get acclimated. He's either going to walk out here and be starstrucken, or he's going to come out here and blossom. So you get a horse that's a little dull, he perks up out here. You get a horse that's a little bit green, he gets a little shy. And the riders don't know what's going to happen until they've jumped like the first two jumps. They really don't know.
Yeah. Is there any philosophy behind like what you're setting up behind us? Is there any sneaks you try and put into it?
Not really sneaks. I really try to build a fair competition at the highest level. And sometimes when you try to build it at the highest level, sometimes you get it a little too hard. If you ease it off, then you get a little bit too many clear. I think the horses are coming in here fresh. I think the horses are coming in here ready to do this job tonight. I think the riders do their homework. I think they get mentally prepared for it, and that's what I have to do. I have to look for a bunch of horses that are ready to jump, and they have to look for a course that's going to be challenging to them.
I also know you're like a man of all trades. You built every jump in this.
I built just about every jump out here. There's a few sponsor fences that I don't have claim on, but yes, that's what I want to call it my hobby, but it is my career. I like it so much. I do it all the time, and these are my toys. I call them.
This is the chicken and egg question. Which came first? Building jumps or designing courses?
Riding first.
Okay,
I rode.
That's a given.
I was a rider, and I rode at this level. I actually won this event the first year they ever had it. That's a long time ago. Not that it was called the American Gold Cup at the time, the very first stadium's show jumping event here in Tampa, and I won it in like 1971 or 72, I think it was. I don't remember the exact date, but it was one of those 2 years. Long time ago, let's put it that way. And yeah, then I went in, and actually, Pamela Carruthers was the resident course designer at the time, a grand lady from England, and she did it, and I rode in it and a couple times, and then I started designing it, and I started designing it full time after '84, after the late Bert DeNimothy finished his term at the Realm here in Tampa, doing it, and he went off and did the Los Angeles Olympics, and I went with him, and I was his assistant course designer. So I had a little flavor of the Olympics starting way back then. So I did my studies, and I did all my stuff, and then I went with Leopoldo Palacios to Sydney. So I had a few before, and then getting elected to do Sydney, and then I asked. It got a little bit late, the appointment, so I said, Leopoldo says, why don't we go do this together? And he said that would be great. So we had to get permission from the Chinese to accept two course designers, and do the job together. But it went well. It went great. It went really good.
Yeah. I was wondering, with your favorite American horses, you knew what they wanted to do.
Well, when you do an event like that, you're not really in it for favoritism. You're not in it to try to make the Americans win or the Canadians win or the Germans win. You go out there to do a job.
Sure.
And the job is to bring out the most talented and horse and rider combination of that day. And that's what happens on this event here. You set up a course. Now, I think this course is going to be a little strong for some of the riders that may be on the list. We got a lot of first timers in here, and I think I've always tried to say that this is one of the toughest courses that you're going to do all year, but it's the most prestigious class we have in America.
Sure is.
So if you win this thing, you're going to go down in the books.
Yep.
You should have earned it, and you should be proud of it when you won this class. Yep. And these multi-winners, they're really proud.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's been hard. We've had no clear before and jumped off the four falters. We've had one clear, and it was a winner. I mean, Margie did it once, and I believe Chris Kapler did it once, and I know that my wife won this class one time in the old stadium. Not the new stadium here, but anyway, it's still Tampa. It's still the Invitational, and it's a prestigious event to be there. And you know, it's a great one to have a notch on your belt with.
Yeah, I also should mention that if Steve's last name sounds familiar, it's because the great super high jumper Debbie Stevens is his wife. That's a kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, it is, and it's a great mixture. We go to the shows, and she has a jump, but a lot of people say, oh, she has an advantage. She doesn't have an advantage. You know, she has to do it just like everybody else.
Of course.
You know,
yeah.
So there's no advantage to it.
Great. Well,
Probably a disadvantage if there ever was one. Yeah.
Well, we look forward to seeing everything tonight, Steve. Thanks for taking the time.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be able to do it for you.
Great. For Sidelines TV, I'm Rob Jordan.